Ladies and gentlemen, every single thing they do to stop Trump, to prevent him from doing his job as president, from trying to remove him as president, everything they do doesn't work out. Or I should say nothing they do works out. And everything they do serves to simply benefit Trump in some manner. Okay? So you look at the Mueller probe and you look at what took place. The report ended up exonerating Trump. They tried to say that, well, we couldn't indict anyone, but that was just because of technicalities. Really, there were just so many red flags. No, nobody. That's not how people view it. The media spent their entire lives trying to foment the belief that Trump worked with Russia, and at the end of the day, this is from the Mueller Report. By the way, you know me, I'm trying to give you a background and a preface to explain Trump's campaign tops $100 million heading into election year, Wall Street Journal, and he got, a $43 million, $40 million impeachment boost. Okay, so $46 million in the fourth quarter. Okay, Trump re-election campaign raises $46 million in the fourth quarter. President Donald Trump's re-election campaign raised, this is Reuters, raised $46 million in the fourth quarter of 2019, a major haul that was boosted by a surge of donations in the wake of the Democrats' impeachment bid. So his thing is like, yeah, you want to impeach me? I'm gonna make money anyway. Imagine if somebody tried to hurt you and harm you, and you made money from it. No matter what they did, you still benefited. But here, they spent their entire lives trying to foment the belief that Trump worked with Russia. At the end of the day, this is the Mueller Report. Second, while the investigation identified numerous links between individuals with ties to the Russian government and individuals associated with the Trump campaign, the evidence was not sufficient to support criminal charges. Among other things, the evidence was not sufficient to charge any campaign official as an unregistered agent of the Russian government or the Russian principal. And our evidence about the June 9th, 2016 meeting, release of hacked emails, was not sufficient to charge a criminal campaign finance violation. Further, the evidence was not sufficient to charge that any member of the Trump campaign conspired with representatives of the Russian government to interfere in the 2016 election. Not sufficient. And what they did was they said, well, we couldn't find any evidence that he conspired. Okay, well, he eagerly, and then they moved the goalposts. He eagerly accepted the help. Well, first of all, the interference was tied directly to the fact that Bernie Sanders was cheated and Debbie Wasserman Schultz was forced to resign in disgrace because of the DNC emails. But here, we don't even know Russia hacked the DNC. Here, it's not just me. Quote, judgments are not, so the ODNI report, they're highly confident to moderately confident. Judgments, this is from the ODNI report that James Clapper compiled with the help of Comey and Brennan. Quote, judgments are not intended to apply that we have proof that shows something to be a fact. Assessments are based on collected information, which is often incomplete or fragmentary. High confidence generally indicates that judgments are based on high-quality information from multiple sources. And this is the key line. High confidence in a judgment does not imply that the assessment is a fact or a certainty. Such judgments might be wrong. Their judgment that Russia hacked the DNC might be wrong. They're literally telling you that. They indicted Russian intelligence officials based on Company One's data and evidence. Company One was outsourced by Democrats. Company One was CrowdStrike. They didn't indict Russian intelligence officials based on the evidence compiled by Brennan, Comey, and Clapper. So when media has basic media and Comey and Brennan and Strzok and McCabe and the Democratic Party, they're constantly sprinting and running out of energy. They're constantly just running out of gas. And at the end of the day, here, the Trump campaign begins the 2020 re-election year with cash on hand of $102.7 million, the official told Reuters, an amount that will help his bid to compete in more states beyond those that carried him to his improbable victory in 2016. He got $102 impeachment helped Trump raise up to over $100 million. That is, if you want to be anyone on the planet, if you were to he's like a superhero, this guy. I mean, it's like, this is like a movie or some kind of fantasy tale or a movie or some kind of, science fiction novel where everyone around this man is trying to undermine him, backstab him, harm him, deter others from liking him, and instead of it hurting Trump, he makes $100 million off it, and 5 million people are lifted out of poverty. Okay, well, this is very important. I'm going to repeat a whole bunch of themes, and this is all in the description section of every one of my segments. Look at the description section. President Trump has reduced the poverty rate from 12.7% to 11.3%, according to USA Today. The census in 2016, the nation's official poverty rate under President Obama in 2016 was 12.7%. November of 2019, poverty rate was 11.3%. He decreases the poverty rate from 12.7 to 11.3. 12.7% to 11.3%. Okay? And then the census in 2016, census reported that 43 million people were in poverty. That's according to factcheck.org. In 2016, President Obama's final numbers, October 2016 update, 43 million people were in poverty. Census Bureau in 2019, as of 2019, pertaining to 2018, 38.1 million people were in poverty. So you have a decrease of 5 million people. Okay, that's why he's making out. That's why he's making this over $100 million on impeachment. They want to impeach a president who is doing good things. They don't like, and so here you have Opie today. What did Opie say? So Ron Howard today goes, and here's an example of a person who it's like this is what's wrong with Hollywood and society. Here you have Happy Days, Opie, some good movies, and you're like, well, what is this guy? Why isn't he injecting himself into politics? Like, why do I have to listen to what Ron Howard thinks? Okay, I mean, he's made good movies and funds and everything. It's like, well, what do I care? In the entertainment industry, many who have worked with Trump think that while his reality show is fun and ran a long time, he's a self-serving, dishonest, morally bankrupt egomaniac. You've just described Hollywood, Mr. Howard. This guy he started off as Opie, and then he just described Hollywood. Everyone is self-serving, dishonest, morally bankrupt, and egomaniac. He just described almost every producer, every director, a great many actors. Okay, so then what's the deal here? He's president, and I just explained 5 million people were lifted off of poverty, and the poverty rate decreased, and there's record low unemployment, and there's record low Black and Latino unemployment, and he signed the First Step Act. And he signed an executive order combating anti-Semitism. Okay? As a Jewish American, H.A. Goodman is very thankful to President Trump. Very happy. Very thankful. Okay? Because if you rely on the left, the rampant anti-Semitism on the left, that is overt. It's not just the rampant dislike. Well, I don't want to get into it. But with the left, it's tolerated. When there's a congresswoman that makes the most vile, disgusting comments, Pelosi doesn't say, hey, we're going to censor that. We're going to oppose that statement. Pelosi says, well, we don't want to directly address the congresswoman. We're going to make a blanket statement. We don't want to offend younger voters who are at college campuses, who are indoctrinated beyond their minds. To think that, to actually just think that history is reversed. But anyway, so I can go on forever. I wrote about that in the Federalist and the Jerusalem Post. And the Jerusalem Post I wrote, you can look it up. I'm actually redoing my website. So you'll have all the information of everything, hundreds of articles that I wrote, hundreds and hundreds of articles I wrote in the Huffington Post, the Hill, Salon, the Daily Caller, the Federalist, the Jerusalem Post, the Times of Israel, a whole bunch of places. But anyway, I wrote a Jerusalem Post article titled, Why Democrats Embrace Anti-Semitism and Anti-Israel Bias. Anyway, here, let's continue. He's a self-starter. Okay, so egomaniac who doesn't care about anything or anyone but his fame and bank account and is hustling the U.S. Okay, so he's hustling the U.S. Meanwhile, this is a multi-millionaire producer, okay, who's saying that Trump is hustling the U.S. 5 million people lifted out of poverty. Poverty rate decreased. Record highs in the stock market, but that's not the only thing. Record lows in unemployment. Household median income increasing. Okay, you can look at every single metric and from every single vantage point. Trump is doing a great job. But it's not enough, do you understand? Because he's not a good person. President Obama's a good person when he drank Flint water to deceive people while it was poisonous. I'm hungry, I'm so thirsty. Oh, yeah. Hey, look, everyone, I'm drinking Flint water, I'm thirsty. And so he drank water that was poisonous, so this is supposed to be a wonderful human being. Ask the people of Libya if they think that Trump is a great that President Obama is a great human being. Ask the people of Haiti if they think, if you're a Haitian American or if you're in Haiti watching, do you think Hillary Clinton is a great human being? $10 billion raised? Where's that money? Where's that money? And so you have the actual quid pro quo is the Clinton Foundation. Okay, that this whole impeachment nonsense is to kind of like just completely do away with the actual quid pro quo that she hid using private servers. It's not rocket science. Okay, this is obvious to anyone. It's she had private servers with top secret intelligence on them to hide her Clinton Foundation nonsense and quid pro quo activity. Rudy Giuliani, long before the Ukraine, long before he obtained an affidavit from Shokin saying that he was fired for corrupt means, said the Clinton Foundation falls under the RICO laws. But anyway, they're impeaching Trump. They have no direct evidence of anything. President Zelensky and President Poroshenko have both stated that they have that they were never leveraged by Trump, and they have nothing. They have no direct evidence. 538 and the Associated Press have both ran great articles admitting they have no direct evidence. And Trump, here's CNBC. Trump campaign says it raised $46 million in fourth quarter, dwarfing Democrat hauls. Okay, so Bernie Sanders' campaign revealed he had raised $34.5 million. I say this with all due respect to Bernie voters. I was the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post. I was the unofficial scribe of Sanders' most hardcore voters, according to the Washington Post. All those people who are like, I love Bernie, yeah, Medicare for all, they will get squashed and crushed and steamrolled by the Clinton machine. Okay? Clinton eats, and I hate to say this, Hillary Clinton eats Bernie voters for breakfast. She eats any voter, Amy Klobuchar's voters, whatever. Beto O'Rourke's voters, well, they eat dirt, so she probably might not eat them. Or he eats dirt, I should say. Beto O'Rourke, magic, dirt, whatever. Look, you have Amy Klobuchar who eats salad with a comb. Beto O'Rourke eats dirt. You're talking about a dysfunctional kindergarten class. It's like these people, and we're gonna stand up to Trump. It's like Trump is laughing. All you can do, you're relegated to just online making fun of him and then retweeting the insults, and that's it. And at the end of the day, he's making $100 million. Imagine if your haters gave you money. Could you imagine if your haters gave you money? What a great world that would be. What a wonderful world that would be. If your haters gave you money, okay? Oh, honey, how was your day? So the haters were after me. Really? How much money did you make? Oh, I made $100 million. Yeah. High five. $100 million from haters, from backstabbers, from the most miserable, petulant, malicious imbeciles and Democrats that you've ever seen in your life. And Ron Howard, of all people today, why, Ron, why did you do this? Why did you have to join the ranks of De Niro and others? The sad, washed up, Hollywood icons. These people are icons. I hate to, De Niro annoys the heck out of me, but these are Hollywood icons, and they've reduced themselves to sad, groveling, petulant, malicious social media trolls. And Trump is president, but they haven't made a big movie. Well, I guess De Niro has, but whatever. Not compared to what he used to do. Okay. Most of these people, I should say, most of them haven't made a movie in a long time. They haven't directed a film in a long time. Maybe Ron Howard has. I don't care. But there used to be a time when these, Hollywood knew its place. Okay? The average American doesn't want to hear your political views, especially when Trump made Hollywood hundreds of millions of dollars with his show. And then they pretend not to like him. And now they get, we just want to let you know that we knew about Trump even when he was making us millions of dollars. No, whatever. The whole Me Too movement was started because of Hollywood, the nefarious Hollywood, evil that exists. You can't get the most decrepit, despicable people. If you wanted to find, where could I find the most vile, nasty, decrepit, demented, deranged people? Oh, Hollywood. I'll just go and find them. And they're actually directors and producers. And yeah. They're there. Still. And they've been there for decades. Ever since Hollywood was created. Give me your thoughts below. And then these are the people who are trying to harm Trump, and he gets $100 million off it. And they're trying to impeach Trump. Trump makes out. He's laughing all the way to the bank, or he's crying all the way to the bank, whatever. They always Trump is on the ropes. Yeah, he's on the ropes, cashing paychecks. Okay, that's what Trump is doing. Give me your thoughts below. It's going to be Clinton again because Bernie got $200 million, and he gave it all away to Clinton, or a lot. What he didn't spend, he gave to Clinton. Okay, they cheated Bernie Sanders. He's despised to the left of him and then to the right of him within the Democratic paradigm. He's not going to win. They're going to cheat him again. They're going to find a way to cheat him. They already did with Warren and other issues, but they'll cheat him again. And guess what? Maybe pretty much the same percentage after they cheat him again will vote for Clinton. Clinton's going to be nominee just because she runs the political machine. Okay, and if Trump is going to get close to $2 billion, because that's one of the estimates, they ain't rolling with Bernie Sanders, because Democrats love the Wall Street and corporate cash. Okay, just like those new Bernie voters who get $20 million from venture capital firms. And when you sign a venture capital agreement, they want a growth rate, they want projections, they want perhaps a piece of the pie, all of these things. And then they say, well, money out of politics. You know who I'm talking about. $20 million venture capital, then you're still asking people for whatever. You know what? Enjoy the show. Trump is laughing all the way to the bank, people. He is laughing all the way to the bank. The people who despise Trump are despised by the average American. The people who despise Trump are despised by the average American. Then the people who despise Trump say, how come Trump isn't disliked more so than we see? Well, because you dislike him. That's why. When he's now the most admired, he's now viewed as the most admired man in America, along with President Obama. So that's a Gallup poll. He's making $100+ million. Okay, then they say, oh, well, his approval rating is down because you're calling people up on a landline, and you're putting them on the spot. You're going to vote for Trump, and their family's deranged. No, I'm not voting for Trump. Why? No, I'm not. Press 2 for no. I'm see, Mom, see, cousin. I'm pressing 2. I'm not voting for Trump. I'll vote for Trump when I get in the voting booth myself. I'll show everyone. They're voting for Trump. The same people, a lot of people who are saying they're not voting for Trump are really voting for Trump. And a lot of people, a lot of progressives and people on the left who are not really too active on social media, they're voting for Trump because they just don't want to deal with the hassle. They don't want to become H.A. Badman. Okay? Give me your thoughts below. It doesn't matter. Vote for Trump or don't vote Democrat. But if you vote Democrat, if you vote Clinton 2020, you don't have a right to condemn anyone. Give me your thoughts below. Trump, oh my God, he makes out. His haters may give him money. It's so fantastic. Give me your thoughts.